Hey there, friends. I hope all of you are having a great Wednesday. It is Wednesday, and I don't know about y'all's weather, but it's so overcast and kind of, you got that kind of moody feeling in the air. You guys know what I'm talking about, and we're entering the retrograde period. Also, a new moon is expected. Wait a minute, we are in a new moon period. So we are new mooning and retrograding starting on November the 1st is the retrograde. So you all know how all that works. It gets a little bit confusing this time of year. I hope all of you are doing really well. I've got 4 new journals to go in the shop. And these are our 4x6 $25 journals featuring a fabric cover. Loads of new goodies in these books. So if you've been looking for some new goodie books, these are it. Love this color. And the patterns, except for this one, the fabric patterns are brand new. So let's take a look. Now this one is a Christmas cover, but it's so subtle and it looks really old. I think that it's such a fun fabric because it has a vintage feel. It features vintage images of, postcards is what I was going for and just couldn't find the word postcard in my vocabulary this morning. The bead strand is paper beads. These are so cool, and I don't know what they are, but I think they're from Miss S. Also a little, what do they call that? A rondelle, maybe? It's definitely got a little bit of blingy sparkle to it. I think that's really, really pretty. So let's take a look. Of course, we've got our hairy paperclip thing going on up here. So when you get a journal like this, you not only have papers to play with, you also have all of these super cool fibers. Maybe you want to make yourself, I don't know, maybe a tassel or something. I've been wanting to try some tassels, so I think that's probably going to be on my give it a go agenda. It does feature, this journal features a really crystally almost closure on it, which is really pretty. So let's go through here and just see what we have. I have included a new batch of chippies for you guys. So this is a chippy here. It says imperfection. Imperfection is, I usually remind you guys about this. Imperfection is a great journal prompt, right? It's good to, it's something interesting to write about. As you guys know, I'm just really not into perfection. I think that imperfection is, to me, imperfection is where the interest lies. It's interesting to have imperfections and things not quite perfect. We often think that our lives have to be perfect, but really, what we thrive on, and we don't even realize it, is that we thrive on. This is I'll come back to that in just a second. This is from an encyclopedia, and obviously a child has scribbled through it. I love things like that. I think they're historic. They're a mark. You're never going to get that mark again. You're never going to get that paper again. I love to include things like that in these journals because I do like the original cool aspect of including things like this. This is imperfect, right? But I would never ditch it because it was imperfect. Its imperfection is actually what makes it super, super beautiful. We were talking about contrast, and contrast is that thing that makes life interesting. If you woke up in the morning and you manifested every single thing that you wanted to have in a day, then that would kind of get boring, wouldn't it? The universe goes, let's spice it up a little bit. Let's keep things interesting. These are vintage recipes. This is for Welsh rabbit. which is not rabbit, it's cheese. And I think it's so cool. This is cheese and green pepper salad, frozen cheese salad. They are old recipes. I think this is from maybe a 1930s recipe book, meals tested, tasted, and approved. Again, even recipes can be prompts. What were your favorite foods when you were a child? What are your favorite foods now? I know just over the past, honestly, it's been like the past 3 years, I have certain foods that I just don't eat anymore. And then I have certain foods that I have loved all my life. Applause, another wonderful journal prompt. The number 10, another journal prompt. We are at the end of a decade, friends. And when I read that, it was like a little meme on Facebook. I almost gasped. I was like, wait a minute, 10 years have elapsed, 2010 to 2020, and that is a decade. What did I do this decade? And that might be a great prompt, the number 10. What did you do this decade? I can't remember what we were talking about. Sometimes I'll lose track of my thoughts. I know y'all know that. Roast chops and steaks. Don't you love that illustration? That's such a 30s-ish illustration. Yeah, I think we were talking about journal prompts. So anything in the book can be a journal prompt. You've got stickers to play with. You've got bookmarks. You've got tags. You've got papers. You've got vintage text, images. I mean, even something like this. These are reinforcers that go on notebook paper. I like to color those with a marker and use them that way. They're really fun. We have some gorgeous bookmarks. I am just overwhelmed with new things that you guys have been sending. Miss R has sent things. Miss H has sent things. Miss Vicky has sent things. Gail, I mean, all the time I get packages. Chris is like, do you have Christmas every day? And it's like, sometimes I think so, and I'm so lucky. But it's really sweet that we co-create in such an efficient way. You guys send me things that you don't want or overflow from your stash, or, a lot of you are cleaning your craft rooms, getting ready for the new year, and you're just sending me all kinds of goodies to pass along to the folks who purchase these journals. I really do love the spine of this journal. I want to find some more of these. Now, these are plastic, but they're so cool. I am gotta be careful about these books because it's so easy to just really fill them up, but that pushes the postage up. I was having a discussion with one of my postal clerks the other day, and she's like, you need a post office scale. And I'm like, yeah, but that's like $30 and I'm not spending money on a post office scale. I did, you guys, Google what common object would be 13 ounces. And do you know what it was? It was a 12-ounce soda. I love, Lidl has this Adirondack soda. I'll show it to you. Guys, it is so good. Now no sugar, it's just sparkling water. It is 100% natural. I love it. And it is 12 ounces, which is, when you factor in everything, that is 13 ounces. I guess they do the liquid in the can, maybe. I'm not sure. But so what I've been doing, and you guys are going to laugh, but I hold the journal in one hand and hold my can of sparkling water, a full can of sparkling water in the other can, and I'm balancing it, which is funny, but I'm very DIY, and if I just don't have to buy something, if there's something that I can use in my universe that I can substitute for something that I'm going to buy, then that's what I do. Basically, here's the thing. Basically, I buy food, mortgage, water, electricity, and pay credit cards, right? I don't like buy clothes. You know, all my clothes are secondhand. Our furniture is 12 years old. We don't feel a need to replace everything, you know, every 4 years or whatever. It's a simpler way to live. I'm not a big purchaser, which, I mean, is good and bad kind of in a way. This is a recipe for kidney stew. This is a recipe for stewed heart. I mean, that would be like a super cool 2-word phrase to put on an art trading card, right? And I think, now all of these books do have a bit of Valentine imagery here. We might have already kind of shuffled through the Valentine imagery. Well, there's some red right there, red sparkles. I've been, you know, and here we have shamrock. So yes, I'm doing Christmas and Valentine's and St. Patrick's Day all in one swoop. There we go. There are your little rhinestone hearts there. I like this one. I can always count on you. And there's a napkin right there, as well as a tag that you guys can play with. I love this paisley. I think it's so pretty. And then the beading on the spine, I took advantage of just the very few little plastic beads that I have left, but I used 4 of these. Remember when we were doing our fatty roll beads? I used some fatties on there. I see we were making fun of that. The papers are pretty much all new, you guys. So something fun to play with. This is about the state of Alabama. Okay, so we were talking the last time we did like a journal flip about what I have been reading. I told you guys about the book, Sharp Objects. That was a rough read. I could not probably recommend that. It was a rough read. It was great at the end. It had a lot of, to me, just unnecessary explicit content in it that did not enhance the story, which was really good, at all. It just seemed to be a lot of sensationalism. Gillian Flynn is an awesome author. I love the book and the movie Gone Girl. But, you know, I'm remembering that had a lot of explicit content as well. Don't you love that image? And this, of course, is a little bit of Christmas for y'all to play with. More Christmas for you to play with. I really felt like I needed a break after I finished reading that book. And I'm not one to get into a book and go, oh, I don't like this at all, and then stop reading it. I have I'm doing audiobooks through my Libby app. So once I get into it, it's like, yeah, I got to finish this. Like I said, love the ending of the book. It was just rough reading. And I probably won't do any more Gillian Flynn, even though she's brilliant, right? I'm reading right now The Death of Mrs. Westaway by Ruth Ware. And it is about, and I'm only like maybe an hour into it, it's about a tarot card reader, and she has a kiosk on Brighton Beach. It's on the Brighton Beach Pier. It's really, 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 really good because it's tarot inspired, and the story so far is super interesting without the explicit content. I don't know what that is, y'all. I don't like books like that 50 Shades of Grey. I did not want to read that. I mean, it's just, to me, that's personal stuff, and you shouldn't really talk about it. But I realize that a lot of people do. That sells books. This is a little book that features some puppies. Aren't they sweet? It reminds me of my little beagle dog. And my beagle dog when she was a puppy. I often wonder what she looked like when she was a little puppy. I know that she was a beautiful little puppy. I am going to put this right here because it keeps slipping out. Albino birds. An albino crow. I don't think I've ever seen an albino crow. But anyway, The Death of Mrs. Westaway. Really, really good so far. I don't see any indication of it being, you know, overtly. Just sometimes you just don't need that stuff in a storyline. And I guess it sells books. I understand. I hope that I'm not being prudish, you guys. I'm just telling you what I enjoy. I don't know what I might read next. There's a book called Hillbilly Elegy. And I think I might read that because it is about growing up in Appalachia. And that is a section of the country that has always been mysterious and very interesting to me. I think it would be a good read, but we'll see. Bacon and Bananas, Cream, Deviled Ham, and Asparagus. This is Louisa May Alcott. She wrote the book Little Men, Under the Lilacs. Isn't that pretty? Oh my goodness, you guys. We were getting caught up on Gotham. I know that y'all know that I love Marvel Comics and I love superheroes and that kind of thing. But Gotham is just, it's dark and twisted. And really, really, really good. So we're kind of getting caught up on that. Once we ditched our cable, we started doing the PlayStation View, which was not satisfactory at all. So we switched to YouTube television, which is excellent. And of course, you know, I love Netflix because I love Call the Midwife. And then I noticed that they had a series about the last Tsar of Russia. So I'm very interested to watch that as well. You know, the whole Rasputin interference in the last Tsar. So that seems very interesting. So there we go, my friends. We've got 4 new journals to go in the shop today. It is time to, you know, purchase those gifts. And I purchase from a person who makes. It doesn't have to be me, but, you know, it's so important to support our artists no matter what you choose to give to someone. Chances are there's a real person that makes it. So seek out those small businesses, those small batch artists, and support your local artists this holiday season. Thanks, guys. I'll talk to you soon. Take care of yourselves. Bye.